was talking about Craig Gordon's wonder save yesterday.
Oh.
It was some fucking save, to be fair.
It was. I mean, he'll probably not be able to move this morning, but he's still moving better than Casper fucking Fat Schmeichel. Oh, anyway.
You can't. Are you upset with Casper Schmeichel?
Not me, personally.
Not you personally. Are you upset with Casper Schmeichel?
No, I'm just upset about the whole shit show.
I thought you won 4-0.
Aye, but I was there. But
Welcome to the world's most entitled fan base.
Yeah,
I
Jesus
just
Christ.
want a fucking striker, man. I just want a fucking striker brought in.
4-0? You can't argue with 4-0.
It was 4-0 against a terrible team, right? Which was really funny because I was watching the game, I was sat in the game, and I was thinking to myself, here, that number 8 for Dundee United's actually linking up play really well, blah, blah, blah. Came out the second half, Jim Goodwin had hooked him, and I was like, he was their best player? What the fuck's going on? And then the guy that he brought on, I can't remember, but he played on one side and then he swapped him to the other side and he just totally nullified the guy, and I thought, Jesus.
It was basically cut your losses because he brought on someone to Mark McGregor, didn't he?
Aye, but
What's the point?
what's the point?
The thing with Celtic, man, if you were a baby, if you said to a wee baby, what do you want here, Christopher?
You're on your side on, so you're not coming into the microphone. But now you are a wee bit. It's just you want to
A
talk.
wee bit?
Yeah,
I
because it was
feel there's a microphone directly in
No,
front
I know,
of my
but
mouth.
then-
Right under your
Is that
nose.
the
That's
red
see on
button
camera.
has to like line up with your mouth, but it was like
The red button has
the
to?
red mark, the red
Oh,
Newman
right,
logo.
like this?
Aye,
That's
that's
what you want?
perfect.
Okay.
Now you sound
Oh.
incredible.
Fantastic.
I never knew that about the logo. That's good that we've got that sorted now.
On what may be the last day of recordings for
Maybe.
Here Comes the Guillotine. Very well,
Could
maybe.
be.
Unless
Perhaps.
anyone manages to get us in a legal headlock.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, if you were a baby, someone said to you, what does running a football club involve? You might reply as a baby or anywhere between 0 and 4, buying a striker. Like, and
Someone who scored goals.
somehow Celtic.
How did 4 goals go in without a striker? Who was doing
Well,
it?
that is the big fucking question because the striker missed a fucking belter of an opportunity. So, yeah, again, but yes, how did 4 goals go in? Fuck's
What a
sake.
crazy league.
It's wild.
Martin O'Neill's back. You must be happy
Oh,
about that.
fucking delighted.
Surely, I mean, this just sounds like
No, I'm
great
delighted.
headlines for Celtic. And
I love-
used to have head in your hands going,
No.
"They're not back
Christopher,
and take this
Christopher,
anymore."
at the moment of recording, it's the January transfer window.
Oh.
And what date is this?
We are on the 12th.
Yeah.
12th. We are 12 days into January.
And we haven't bought anyone. And we're getting linked with people who haven't scored a goal for 2 years.
Aye,
And
aye.
it's just like, just fucking buy a striker.
I just go and buy fucking strikers, 2 strikers, please. Maybe another defender. Although I do see that we're bringing back, is it Stephen Welsh?
Yeah.
Stephen, right? So you just know the Celtic board will be like, oh, it's a new signing. I know he's been at the club for fucking
Right.
since time immemorial and since Jesus walked the land, but it's not a
Think-
new signing.
I think that not to criticise or try to give any advice to the Glasgow Celtic fan base, maybe they should read Ramdas and try and live in the now rather than in this future without a striker.
No,
Why
wait,
not?
that isn't the future. This is the fucking now.
The now's the problem. Here's the problem, right? The now is bad, right? So the now is bad, and you're like, we're not getting linked with anybody. And then you get linked with someone, and you're like, the future's worse.
Aye.
The future's this guy from the Ivory Coast who hasn't fucking scored for 2 years.
Ivory Coast hasn't scored for 2 years. Come to Glasgow in January.
Yeah.
Because do you know what? It'll be great. My my brother's best mate, who's like a surrogate big brother to me, goes off his fucking head when he sees players wearing gloves.
Why?
Because he just thinks, it's fucking. He's just a fucking Celtic right? And I love him. I love him.
Gloves, what is this? Back in the day, used to be real players.
Exactly. All that shit. I tell you what, what's a player if he doesn't lose a fucking finger to hypothermia, right? What kind of fucking pussy's this? But he goes off his nut, and I'm just thinking, if a lad comes for the Ivory Coast, he'll be in a full fucking skin suit, man. It's freezing out there.
Yeah, it does sound like a tough proposition to ask a Japanese person or an African person to move to Glasgow
Also,
in January.
to care about the 17th century Protestant plantation of Ulster
Yes.
and to debate it through the medium of the high tackle.
High tackle and football chants.
I was reading about a Celtic player recently.
Oh God.
It was Henrik Larsson.
Oh.
What? Not him. I know him.
Oh.
He was talking about his favourite player, who was a guy.
Lubo Moravcik.
Lubo Moravcik.
What a player. Can I just tell you, right? The day that Lubo Moravcik signed, my mate said to me, we signed him for like, I don't know, 300, 400,000 or something, right? And my mate's like, that's it. I'm fucking no going back. What's this shite that we're signing? It's genuinely one of the best Celtic players ever. So much so that you didn't know if he was right-footed or left-footed because they were both as strong as each other. He was a phenomenal player. But my mate has never lived that down where we're just like, that's it. What's this shite we're signing? Fucking one of the best.
Famously trapped the ball with his arse.
Yes.
He trapped the ball with his arse.
Yeah, he sat on it. So like the ball was coming in high and he just kind of...
Do you know, I'm talking shite, Frankie. Your mic was right the first time and now I've told you to put it in the wrong place.
This is very like, have you seen the Menendez brothers?
Yes.
The thing with the mic?
Sorry.
Like,
You need to go round, sorry.
So your thing is it has to align with that red
Your
dot.
red bit, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Sorry, that's the way it was initially.
Here we are, folks. Quality content.
I have to say I'm emotionally checked out of this podcast and that's fine.
It's been a while. To be fair, I'm on the brink of being emotionally checked out of Celtic. I'm fucking raging.
I can't. And 4-0, Martin O'Neill's back.
Christopher, I'll tell you why. The week before, right?
Martin O'Neill's going to do something cool.
The week before, right? We had a fucking great first half against Rangers. They brought on a very mediocre player and a very baseline tactic to counteract how good we were in the first half, and our arses absolutely fucking collapsed against our rivals, which is all fine and dandy, but not in your own fucking stadium.
Was this the Nancy regime or was this?
It was the Nancy regime.
Nancy was like some guy who'd learned like Wing Chun or something, right? So to do the Wing Chun forms or something like that, but I hadn't really thought about a sectarian maelstrom, right? So it's like you've opened a door for that Wing Chun guy. He's maybe done 3 or 4 years, done a course, and then you're like, there you go, through that door is the fucking Battle of the Somme, and he's fucking standing in the middle of this as he's just goes down in a hail of fucking mustard gas and lead and body parts.
Aye.
It's like my pal who used to go to Jeet Kune Do with you, and he was learning all the fighting moves and stuff and how to deal with people up close, find a space and fill it with violence and that type of stuff. But then he was just surrounded by BAMs and Bailison. Someone threw a bin at him. And it's like, there's no lesson for bin hitching about it. Do you know what I mean? That's just, you're out. There's no class in taking a bin to the head.
Like a wheelie bin.
No, you would have drove past this bin a few times, Susie. I think it was out. Did you know that bit next to Bannerman High School where it used to be a vet?
And farm foods and all
farm
that.
foods
Yeah,
and
it was
that,
right
yeah.
across the road from where I grew up.
Yeah, so you would have seen this bin 100 times. It got thrown at this guy.
I've probably stubbed a joint out it in my teenage years. Probably binned a bottle of Ice Dragon in it in my teenage years. Back in the day, Christopher.
Is that what you used to drink when you were wee? Ice Dragon?
Well,
What's that?
it's like a really cheap cider.
Right.
It's like
Frosty
white,
Jacks?
like aye, all of that. All of that. That really like £1.50 a bottle of cider.
Yeah.
Kind of merry down thing.
The onion juice.
Oof, bad.
They don't
Bad
make
times.
Frosty Jacks out of apples. It's made out of onions and chemicals that taste like apples.
Wow.
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what was launched today? I'll tell you what was launched today. Autistic Barbie.
Is that right? What's her accessories?
A set of headphones,
Cool.
a fidget spinner,
Cool.
and her eyes go to the side. And I'm thinking to myself,
Is this real?
uh-huh. And I'm thinking to myself, surely if you are, just for the listeners, Christopher is verifying this on his phone right now, but just, I was just
Great.
thinking, that's not really a fair representation of people with autism.
I think it's 100% accurate.
As we look at Frankie,
This is
so we'll chip in and get my fidget spinner for the next episode.
currently wearing headphones.
and then I was thinking to myself, surely if you're a kid with autism, surely all Barbies are autistic, because ultimately a toy is a conduit for you to put your personality through. There we go.
Won't
Head bug-
hug you back.
won't hug you back.
Sure.
Have you ever seen lesbian Barbie? I've never seen a fucking lesbian that looks like that in my life. Where the fuck are they lesbians? California? Because do you know what I want? Type 2 diabetic Barbie. That's what I want. That's what I've
What
decided.
would her accessories be?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. I want football hooligan Barbie.
Her foot comes off.
She just slowly loses toes and then a leg.
I stuck. My big sister had a what was that? Baywatch Barbie. My dad got her it, and it was like it came with like a beach tent with like first aid stuff, and there was a dolphin where you pressed a button and it made the dolphin noise. And I wasn't allowed to play with the Barbies after I put Barbie leg first down the back of the radiator and left her legs warped and chewed up by heat and metal.
This is like Ted Bundy killing kittens.
Misery.
But there used to be my uncle. This wasn't my era of Action Man, but my uncle gave me one of his Action Men from the, I believe, 70s.
Oh, Jesus. Did he come with a Confederate flag?
No, it was he had the ability. He had a wee button on the back of his head. Eagle eye vision, I believe it was called. Even though eagles can make eye contact, but it was like it would be able to look at it like that. And his hair was kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
Was it blondish hair?
Yeah, it was fuzzy.
Was he
I
Jarhead?
remember that guy.
I don't know if it was Jared, but he had kind of dead pointy feet as well.
Yeah.
He just seemed like a pure, next to my modern at the time Action Men. He just seemed a man at a time.
When
70s
Superman
Action
2 came out, I got right into Superman and I got out my Action Man and I took his clothes off and pretended he was Superman because you couldn't really have him in a uniform. But I don't know. I had a sort of naked Superman.
Of course you did.
Man. Nudist colony Superman.
The idea of you playing with Action Man is as bizarre as the idea of me playing with Barbie.
Do you think so?
Aye.
I loved Action Man. In the 90s,
What
had...
was he doing in your world though? Was he like
Slaying dragons.
No, I had
listening to vinyl?
Eating noodles. He's just back from Vietnam, you know. He's developed a penchant for Vietnamese food.
Opening a bar.
A tiki bar.
That would be awesome. I'd like, yeah, he was an astronaut. So there was one where he had like a moon buggy and he had an astronaut suit. I broke his legs in some kind of
You really don't like legs, man.
protest against my dad or some way, I don't know. And then he had villains in my They had Mr. X and he had Dr. X, who were different guys, which is quite confusing. Mr. X was covered in bandages. He'd had some kind of horrible accident, acid in his face or something. One of Action Man's less publicised adventures, throwing acid in a man's face. He had purple spiky hair and he had a big pole. And then Dr. X was like an evil scientist, had his arm replaced with a claw or something.
I suppose they were brothers.
Perhaps.
Cousins, at least.
At least cousins.
Action Man nowadays is essentially just an ICE agent. that's what we need is PTSD Action Man and ICE agent Action Man.
That's coming here. I mean, that's coming
Think
here.
so?
Think
Yeah.
so, aye.
Well, if you get like a reform government or something, you're going to have the guys on the street. Because at the moment, I've seen
sake.
people getting pulled off the street and thrown in a van. You know? Like,
Wait, what?
yeah, I saw a guy down by Finiston one time. Just this wee guy gets marched out of a B&B by cops and put in the back of a van with a kind of grill on it. And he's just like dressed just totally normal in street clothes and they've just tackled him and he's getting taken off for some, you know.
Crime he didn't commit.
Well, it didn't look like, it looked like a kind of immigration thing to me.
What was the thing that happened in the south side a
Yeah,
couple of years ago?
they tried to get a couple of guys to deport them and they surrounded the van in
Yeah.
Kenmure Street.
Kenmure Street.
I used to live in Kenmure Street back in the 90s. I did, aye. I did. Yeah, it's always been a really big hub of kind of multiculturalism as well, Kenmure Street and Albert Drive and all that. And it was just, I loved living there. It was great. And everybody was brand new. You never get any hassle. And this would have been round about the time of like the kind of to stop Section 28 campaign and all that. And it was fine, but it just shows you, though that was the Priti Patel was absolutely fucking raging that happened. It was a beautiful moment because they surrounded the van and they surrounded the street and they just wouldn't let them take them. But they weren't even illegal, those guys. They had just decided, we're going to just fucking...
Well, there'd be loads of that. Yeah. It's weird they had Pretty Patel and they got someone worse. There was
I know.
actually Sheila Bravman. It was Mr. X and Dr. X.
See the reform government stuff? I've kind of been like, nah, they won't get in. And then I was talking to my brother who lives in a very white part of England, and he was like, I am fucking convinced they're going to get in because everyone down here's like, yeah, we need to give reform a chance.
But and here, they're second place in Scotland, aren't they? What's Labour? Labour's polling at 16% in Scotland or something. And I think it will go lower. See, before the last Corbyn election, when was that 2019? The poll that came out like 2 weeks before the election or something in Scotland had Labour on 12%. I was like, that's sort of the natural bedrock of Labour. I think it's actually slightly lower than it is at the moment. And like they're offering nothing. They're linked to Keir Starmer, who's linked to the economy, which he's at the controls of a fucking crashing plane, basically. So
they said they were going to focus on replacing him with Wes Streeting to try and get the Scottish vote, which made me just like...
Anis Sarwar, let's go back to the whole my pal going, Anis Sarwar seems like a nice guy, and me going, nobody's a nice guy who went to Hutchie.
100%. Can I just say, people talk to me about that when they come up and go, I love the podcast, and they're like, you're right about Hutchie. It's full of cunts.
It's class all the way down. See that Celtic thing they're talking about? Those people have been brought up, they went to St Al's in Glasgow, and they've been brought up to hate the people, or consider themselves superior to the people who are in the fucking seats.
Who actually pay their salary, yeah.
If Hutchie's a cunt factory, what's so malicious?
A Catholic cunt factory. For those listeners that are not familiar with St Al's, it is a very posh, Catholic, exclusively Catholic, because that's how we like it.
Where's that?
It's in town, it's up at Garnet Hill.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's a very private school, as we call it in Scotland, or public school, if you're in England. And it's, the people that are in charge of a club that was founded to feed the poor are all privately educated, golf-playing, jumper-wearing wankers.
And they're incredibly out of date. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be in debt. Your whole thing is just to serve England and its needs. You're just replicating a fucking class that's existed, for hundreds of years. You're just filling a bunch out. Oh, I'll be the new accountant. I'll be the new fucking advocate or whatever.
Yeah, St Al's old boys, isn't it? Because they'll all just come from that private school, old school ties thing as well. But they'll also be that kind of thing of being a bit holier than thou. They're just so pious about it. I think that's the thing. They're so pious. But mental, I didn't know this, that I was listening to the radio on Saturday going to the game, and the major shareholder of Livingston is an American from Atlanta, Georgia, who also knows the major shareholders of St Johnstone. Now you're talking two provincial clubs in Scotland, and they too are from Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm like, what the fuck are all these Americans doing in one of the worst professional leagues for football in the world? What the fuck are they doing?
What's Livy's Stadium now? Because it's not the Tony Macaroni Arena anymore.
It was the Tony Macaroni Arena, which then get nicknamed the Spaghetti Hat.
Yes.
That's cool. Class. But now it's probably named after a vape company. Because only Scottish football would have stadiums named after vapes, and they give away a Glen's Vodka Manager of the Month award. Then they go,
start your car with this.
Oh, it is the cheapest
like proper, like what the fucking what were they called? The Dukes of Hazzard were making in their fucking shed.
I think it might still be called the Tony Macaroni Arena, because I thought Tony Macaroni went out of business because the one at the bottom of Byers Road that used to be Leonardo and Company, R.I.P. I thought they'd all went out of business, but the one in town still cooking as I walked past it the other day. So maybe it's still the Spaghetti Head.
Might still be the Spaghetti Head.
I don't think it is. I think I heard the other day them call it something. The game was cancelled on a fucking plastic pitch.
It's wild. It's fucking wild. It's literally like cancelling a game of football in your living room.
It's called Home of the Set Fair Arena. What does that mean?
Home of the Set Fair. Look it up.
Home of the Set Fair?
Home of the Set Fair. Is it like a set menu, a kind of harvester or
To me, a set fair is like, well, you're getting your train every day. Therefore, home of the set. Home of the set fair is a West Lothian private hire company. So it's named after it.
It's named after a taxi company.
We call us the home of the set fair. If you
If
want
you
to go to
need-
Glasgow Airport, you want to go to Edinburgh Airport, we're your man.
If you
Set
need to
fair.
evacuate this stadium quickly because it's such a shite game of football, call us
because the fucking game's been abandoned?
on a carpet, basically.
Wow, home of the set fair.
What do we think's going to happen with Trump in Greenland? Sounds a laugh.
It sounds like they're completely serious about it. So something is going to give. They're not going
NATO.
to sit for 3 years going, we really wish we had. Yeah, NATO, maybe. But like, nothing would make like the kind of liberal West turn against the idea of we're a kind of alliance with America at the heart of it, and Europe is a kind of bastion of civilization and all this kind of stuff. Nothing's going to, like, even if they take Greenland, they'll find some way of saying to themselves, yeah, that's kind of, NATO's still there and Russia's still the problem and blah, blah, blah. You know?
Yeah.
It's actually logical what he's doing, because what he's said, so far as we can work out, is rational. But he sees it now as a world of apex predators.
Yeah.
So there's Russia, China, and the United States, and he's like, within our sphere, which is like the Western Hemisphere, is how the Americans have often thought of the world, right, since the Monroe Doctrine. They
Yep.
think of themselves as like South America, the Americas,
Central
and everything
America.
around
Yeah.
them, right? So when they sees that oil tanker the other day, it was linked to Venezuela, they said, and blah, 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 and the Russians kind of gave it up, that was kind of like, oh yeah, that's kind of over in your bit.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And their point is, look, that's coming from the Americas, that's coming from here, that's our thing, you know? So I think in a way, you know, it's slightly less chance of nuclear war.
I think it's fascinating because we're going back to like pre-World War One kind of land division, aren't we? It's just like, here's here, and if you go with them, we'll need to back them up, and we're in charge of this bit, and then China, you can have that bit, you can have the Pacific, and Russia, you can have kind of Eurasia, because there's nothing really valuable there, so that's all right. And you're going, this is fucking, we're going back to like pre-World War One. I know what you're saying because of where Greenland is. Strategically, it's very important because it's not that far from Russia, really. You know, what did make me laugh was some of the commentary on it last week when they were going north of the British Isles or off the coast of the British Isles, and I'm going, that'll be off the coast of Scotland. That's just north of Britain, and I'm like, again, that'll be fucking Scotland. Like, hello, like, they've just stopped recognising Scotland as a country. And you're like, when did we just become Northern Britain? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're an actual territory. But I do think he'll take Greenland. I think Denmark will ultimately go, listen, have what you want, take what you want, but don't invade us. Like, do you want fucking, I don't know.
I sort of don't think they can. I don't think they can just give up part of their country. It's like they're going to have to try and get Greenland to secede or something. It's also the thing where, like, that's just a way of thinking about it, right? That there's now a kind of world of apex predators. It's also the thing where, like, America are saying that if you give us half the mineral rights to Ukraine, we'll give you security guarantees and all that stuff, like, for a long time. They don't want China to invade Taiwan.
No.
Right? Would be a huge blow to their prestige. They saber rattle about it, and China saber rattles a lot about it as well. But, like, in this world, you know, if you're just going into Venezuela and kidnapping their president, and if you're just taking over Greenland, how do you say to China, oh, don't go into Taiwan?
Exactly.
Where, you know, I'm not in favour of that, but China has more historical reason to go into Taiwan.
Yeah, than America does Greenland
So
or Venezuela.
Taiwan, Christopher, as I'm sure you're well aware, is the seat of where the people from the previous Chinese government, which were overthrown by the communists, all fled to Taiwan and fortified themselves. So there's been a long-term, we're going to get you, you're a mouse in the wall, and this big Chinese cat is outside it, right? We're going to fucking get you one day, has been there since the revolution.
Ni hao. What's Greenland all about?
It's just strategically important. I mean, it's got the same population as Easterhouse.
Right, so it's a bit of a Falklands type scenario where it's like...
But it's massive.
Oh, it's big.
It is massive, and geographically, because of where it is quite close to Russia. It's quite close to Scandinavia. There's minerals in the sea, but it's got a very, very small population, which if you're America, you're just looking at that going, 60,000 people? Fuck, man, we've got places in butt-fuck nowhere with more people than that. Do you know what I mean? So strategically, America's looking at it going, we need to base ourselves there to protect the Atlantic. And kind of Europe's like, no, NATO, we're all part of this gang. And Trump's like, I fucking don't like your gang. You don't spend enough in security. We've had to bail you out. We won the Second World War for you. We're just going to take Greenland because it's in your interest and my interest and America's interest. And
it's also, as the ice melts, it'll become the major shipping route.
Yeah, which is a big thing just now because there's routes that you can now go through it because the ice has started to melt so much.
But
So
the Vikings called it Greenland to persuade people to go there. It's covered in ice.
Is that the thing where Greenland's covered in ice but Iceland's covered in green? They fucked it.
it's a beautiful, beautiful
Didn't
thing.
fuck it. They were crafty Vikings.
Oh, it was,
They were
it was a
like-
misnomer.
Yeah, they're trying to get people to move there. Come to Greenland.
It does look fucking nice though.
It
To be
does look
fair,
nice on the coast, on
I
the
like
coastal
ice.
bits.
Aye.
Yeah.
I like ice.
I think ice is not the fucking people disappearance. Please don't take me out of context by saying I like ice. I'm saying I like the tundra. I'm not saying that I
Aye.
like the Gestapo.
Maybe we should try and think of something positive to say about ice. Do you know what I mean? Like, there must be something.
It's great.
They wear masks, they abduct people.
Get a nice uniform.
They shot that woman in the head.
Shot her in the side of the
Shot
head,
her in
which
the
is
fa-
quite,
And then the
quite
face.
tricky.
And then the face.
Twice?
Yeah, they shot him in
Quite
the
tricky if
face.
someone's coming towards you to shoot them in the side of the head. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's like
Hmm.
almost starting to doubt that guy's story.
So I had flights booked to go to the World Cup, and looked into it
Good
yesterday,
luck.
and I can change my flights for any other time of year to go anywhere else within that region. So I'm thinking Canada. Nice wee trip to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Up there.
Go to Vancouver, it's fantastic.
Because it's
Well, this is what I've been told because it's
Mhm.
British Columbia, and you've got all the really. It's like Scotland in steroids to a degree, but without Presbyterianism and wee freeze. So you can put the kettle on this Sunday. And I've heard that Vancouver is very arty, liberal, LGBT, all of that. There's loads of festivals and really good restaurants and stuff.
Vancouver's fantastic, but if you can get out to the islands as well. There's a big
Yes.
island called Vancouver Island, which is like weird, kind of like old-timey Britain.
Right.
Sort of weird Victorian. You can get a fucking like high tea and all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh.
But there's bears, you know, so it's like
Jeopardy!
a really strange mix. But there's all these wee islands around there as well. And you can go and there's like guest houses on them and all that kind of stuff. But the ferry between them is just fantastic. It's one of the most dramatic
Really?
places I've ever been. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So I really fancy it. So my girlfriend has been to Toronto and stuff like that. But I was like, well, if you've been there, I've never been to Vancouver. I quite fancy it. So I'm thinking September. Would you think September would be a good
September's
time?
amazing. I've
Really?
been there in September. I would say go to Vancouver, get a week in Vancouver or something, but get a week on one of those islands and get a bike and just fight. It's all, you know, pine forests. and
Yep.
I saw whales in the harbour. I mean, it was amazing. You can just hear
you're
these
going to
whales.
cycle through the Pine Barrens.
They're not barrens, mate. There's a road. There's roads, but there's just no fucker there. Right?
So yeah, because I was going to hire a car and do like mainland, and like maybe go to like Calgary or fly to
Oh.
Calgary and then get the. But if you're,
Calgary's pretty dull.
if you,
I would go to Vancouver and get out to the islands and get on a ferry and stay in a wee like log cabin somewhere.
Yeah.
for a wee
Calgary's like a cowboy city, isn't it?
it's a bit kind of like it's a bit of a ski town,
oh no, fuck
and it's
that.
just a bit kind of it looks really nice and everything, but it's a bit like you're in a giant shopping mall version of
Right.
reality. You know?
Right, that's what I'm going to do. I've ordered my Lonely Planet guide. 'Cause I like a wee Lonely Planet guide for if I'm going somewhere new and exciting.
You love it so much. I would also say, I mean, I don't know what my gaydar's like, but I would say a very big town for the old gays.
Great.
Great.
Safety first. I don't think I'm getting that in Boston. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking at America and I went, because I got flights really cheap for 16 days, so it was like a return. And I was going to go straight after my tour. And I get the flights for a really, really good price going through Homeland Security in Dublin. And then I'd
imagine the Dublin to Boston flight is pretty constant.
I would imagine that it's every stereotype you can imagine, just people with fucking big green hats on. But I've watched the past week and I've went, do you know what? I'm not fancying this at all. So I'm
It'll
thinking
be a wee bit like when they done the Olympics in Nazi Germany.
Exactly. And I kind of said, like, we had this discussion yesterday morning where I was just like, you wouldn't have went to Berlin June 1939. Do you know what I mean?
Some did. What was the guy who
The
went
Roy-
like that?
The
guy
king?
with the fist up. What? The king?
Oh,
Elvis?
right.
No.
Right, so you've conflated two different eras of history.
Right, okay.
So you're thinking of the Black Panther salute, and you're conflating it with Jesse Owens.
Yes. So what am I getting wrong?
You're getting wrong by just several decades.
Right.
Those are two separate things that
Jesse
happened at different
Owens was...
Before the Second World War, Jesse Owens won a bunch of gold medals. Was it the Munich Olympics?
Yes.
Or the Olympics?
Right, okay.
And then the Black Panther movement had a Black Power salute
Yeah.
on the podium.
Yes.
In, I guess, the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was Munich because it was a stadium with a kind of...
They say time
Gap
is a
in it.
construct. You know.
Because that's where he had his rallies, wasn't it, as well?
I experienced the world in history in a kind of non-linear fashion.
Right, so what we're saying here is Vancouver in September. Go after Fringe.
Oh, fuck, it's so brilliant. It's like the best holiday I've ever had, I think.
Really?
I would say to you, that's the way to do it. Get Vancouver in and do like fucking 10 days. Go for as long as you can, but also get out to an island. There's loads of these wee islands. Main Island I stayed on. There's like bigger ones that have like their own kind of wee, you know, they'll have a bookshop and they'll have a wee cafe and all that kind of
Sounds
stuff.
like Mull.
But it's just like...
But nicer.
That was kind of the first time I experienced colonialism firsthand as part of a part of a settler nation, is when I went to Toronto and they were like, hey, you gotta try our poutine. And I was like, your local delicacy is chips, cheese and gravy. Are you fucking kidding on? Invented that in Garrett Hill.
You invented it.
Neptune's fifth one.
Lunchtime from Bannerman.
It's like, oh, this was us. This was like ages ago. And then you go to Australia and this fucking Iron Brew in this bar and you're like, Jesus Christ, we're a disease.
Aye.
The difference in Canada once you get off the mainland is there's no really cars. Like, there are cars, but like, you're completely safe.
Yeah, right, okay.
Except
I'm going
from
to do this.
bears.
Except from bears, that's true. When we were over,
It's fucking
there was
same
a
as
fucking,
Glasgow.
there was a fucking guy who got attacked by a bear. Was it on an island or something? This is where we're there.
This was your best holiday you've ever
Yeah,
had.
this
You
was
nearly
your-
got mauled by a grizzly.
Jeopardy
headline.
holiday.
A fucking American. So a guy gets attacked by a bear, a Canadian guy,
Mm.
and it's, I guess, a brown bear. And fucking this American tourist steps out and shoots it with a Magnum 44 that he just carried and I guess smuggled into the country or something.
Yeah.
Or how had he got this gun? But he shot this fucking bear dead. and
How
saved the guy.
satisfying would that be to just blow a bear away with a fucking desert
No.
eagle?
All your thoughts of fucking gun control and all that go out the window.
As soon as the bear shows up. What about a fucking bear control?
This fucking guy, Dirty Harry's a brown bear.
You're feeling lucky, punk. I'd love to shoot Winnie the Pooh in the head.
Oh, for fuck's
fuck
sake.
it. When Paddington's right there,
You would go
Fucking-
Paddington's the immigrant.
Aye, but Paddington.
I would
exactly.
buckwheat Paddington and I'd shoot him up his arsehole.
What was
fucking
Rupert the Bear's? What was Rupert the Bear's deal even? He just had a red jumper and yellow
It
trousers.
was like, you know, some things are just an English thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes Scottish TV and you go, that's for the English. Fuck knows what's going on there. That's fucking...
That's true. His name's Rupert.
It's
Well, he
fucking
wasn't
trousers.
an immigrant. Yeah, he was like the landed gentry. He was
Yeah.
the kind of, oh, hello, I'm here to have a scarf. Like,
Yeah, but
right.
anyone who wore a fucking any kind of check pattern would
Yeah.
get a fucking Rupert the Bear. You know, a fucking poofy wee dick.
Correct. My pal Roscoe wears tartan trousers sometimes. I call him Rupert the Bear for that very reason.
What was his deal? Did he have pals?
He flew a kite sometimes, I think that was it. But Paddington had this whole mythos. You know, his mum abandons him in Peru, and
because he was a fucking demon. Because he was dragging cunts to hell. No wonder they abandoned him.
It's the whole myth of, like, you know, if it's like the royal family accepted Paddington, because you know how they're well known for accepting immigrants. And that's how the country get carried away. Paddington wasn't a thing for a long, long time until the fucking Olympics or something.
It was for the film. The film came out.
Was
We
it
went,
Jubilee?
aye. Second one's great. The second film's great, to be fair. But
Big Hugh Bonneville in it.
Do you know what? It's something the royal family managed. I can't quite put my finger on, but they managed to make criticism of them seem almost passé. Do you know what I mean? In a way that, and you're like, you own a vast swathe of the country, you know, and at the same time, if anyone really has a go at you, it's kind of like, oh god, that's a bit cheap, isn't it? How did they manage that trick? I remember I did a kind of infamous Children in Need appearance.
What did you do?
It was like, so they asked me to come down and do it, right? And so I got these headlines going, it was cut out of the broadcast, whatever. It was never going to be on the broadcast.
Evil Glasgow funny man cut from.
So my thing with those things is, I wouldn't particularly be a Children in Need kind of face, would I, right? But if anyone asked me to do anything, I would do it, because I think, well, it's an imperfect world, and I'd rather you made more money rather than less money, right?
Yeah.
So they said, oh, do you want to come down and do Children in Need? I said, really, no. You wouldn't like it. It wouldn't be good for anybody.
I would love to have heard that phone
But
call.
they come back and they go, oh, we'd really like you to do this because we've got this fucking massive venue to sell, and they've got all sorts of people on, but they're really trying to collate everybody's kind of fan base to fill this like it's like fucking Wembley Arena, right?
Right, okay.
And I'm like, okay, like I'll do it, and it's not going to be something you can broadcast, but fine, right? So I go and do it. And as I'm going down to London, the Queen gets taken into hospital. And there's a whole fucking, you know, oh my God, the fucking Queen's gone into hospital and all that. So obviously I do the bit on Children in Need, which goes all right. And it's like, oh, I hope the fucking Queen dies. You know, they can fill in for it. They can get the guy who played Gollum in a fucking suit, until, you know, whatever it is, till the end of the Olympics and all this kind of stuff, right? And then it's like, I get these headlines in the mail going, oh, he's like booed off stage and all that. And I wasn't, so some tape then for surfaces of it, and I wasn't. Being like, oh, papers lie. Do you know what I mean? But I also, a lot of the coverage was like, oh, this is a bit of a cheap shot. And you're like, how is it a cheap shot? You know, all this stuff about punching up. Yeah. I mean, they're up. They are the people at the very fucking top. And it's somehow, they made criticism of themselves seem, you know, not just not radical, but lazy and you know, not worth doing. And that's something, you know, the whole culture's bought. And you're kind of like, fuck me, you need to start talking with these people, because the actual facts of who owns the land in this country and who, you know, is at the head of the political system, it's the royals.
The thing recently that's amazed me with it is that obviously Prince Andrew has been castigated to a shed in Sandringham, right? But everyone forgets that Jimmy Savile and the King were really fucking good mates, and you're like, I'm not saying that Andrew should be getting away with this at all, but like, you can't kind of go, Andrew, you need to get to fuck because you were friends with a paedophile. You were friends with a fucking necrophiliac who was also a paedophile.
Before we get into Lord Mountbatten.
Let's open that up.
You know, in the family was a fucking notorious
pedo.
Yeah, demonic.
Allegedly. Demonic?
Yeah, I think he was a demon of some kind.
It's an explosive figure.
Check, that's why he didn't ever want security round about him.
Who?
Mountbatten. He never ever took any of the kind of government security he was offered because he was going to.
I wonder about that about Andrew as well, because you're like, was he going to security? I'm just off to this like fuck island. You're like, how do they not know if they've got people with, like, literally with him
24 hours a day?
So did they have people with him when he went to see Epstein in New York? Did they have people with him when he went to the fucking fuck island?
My one shred of empathy for Prince Andrew.
This is like your pro-ice material. Here we go.
Strap in.
Was when he with his excuse in that interview when he said, "Oh, I had that PTSD during the war and it kind of blocked up my pores. I can't sweat. I'm like medically unable to sweat, and I also have that. I can't sweat either.
What is your PTSD?
No, I don't have that. I just don't. When I run or something, I don't sweat. I never have pit stains or anything.
Right.
I just turn red. So I have Prince Andrew disease.
What I want to know though is what his PTSD is. He's not fucking fighting in a he's not crawling through the fucking marshlands of Port Stanley to fucking shoot some Argentinian. He's not doing that. He's fucking about in a helicopter.
But he did
Wank.
fly a helicopter in action. But then partly that's your
But
death
that-
drive, right?
but-
So he's got a death drive that's like, look, you're a beast. You know, get a fucking exocet missile into your fucking chops and end this fucking hell for everybody.
Also,
Who's saying this?
Andrew's
His own brain.
his own subconscious
Yeah.
is like, look, you're a beast, put yourself in harm's way.
but also, he fucking signed up to be put in harm's way, so tough fucking titty. Like, do you know what I mean? Nobody's sitting going, like, it's a bit like PC Yvonne Fletcher, right? Last night I seen an Iranian.
It's about time she got taken
Aye.
in a beggar.
Do you know what I mean? You're just
Christopher,
like
this
that.
is
Who's PC
a
Yvonne
tiny
Fletcher?
lady police officer who was
Tiny.
killed by a ricochet in the siege of the Libyan embassy.
Iranian.
When was
Oh,
Iranian embassy.
By
When
possible.
when was
it
this?
Libyan?
1983.
Right.
Iranian embassy, which was quite funny because I seen a guy take the Iranian flag off the fucking embassy in London yesterday, and I thought, oh, how times have changed. You'd have been fucking taken out for that in the 80s. But
What happens? What's happened with Iran now?
They're protesting their horrendous theocratic government.
Mhm.
The Americans are supportive of the protest because they would like to install a worse kind of dictatorship and get the old Shah back or whatever, right?
Right.
But you know, then you know, good on them. Good luck getting rid of your fucking theocratic.
Hundreds of
Celtic fans
protesters
can't
are-
fucking do it, so, you know, well done, Iran, for getting rid of the Ayatollah.